So tonight, what I wanted to do is I want to spend about an hour, give and take, to talk about what's really causing these chronic health issue and the underlying cause that triggering all these. And as we know it, it's the stress is actually chronic stress causing about 95% of the chronic health issue. And a lot of us don't know how to manage it. And my goal will be is tonight to discuss about how the stress affects your different system in our body and how we can then trying to mitigate the effect from the chronic stress that causing these issues and how to manage it and how to get better. And in a way that if we can learn all these different effects and learn how to manage it, there's potentially that you can actually improve your health issue and stress response. Okay, so the presentation I titled it Beyond Stress because a lot of us just look at the stress and what's, stress is doing or how we manage the stress, but stress is just not just there. People think, oh, it's just the stress and it's just, day-to-day life that we have stress and we can't do anything about it. But if we don't manage it and we don't recover from the stress properly, then in the long run, it's going to start affecting sleep, it's going to start affecting energy production, and it's going to start affecting weight gain, etc. And that is a huge, huge issue that we're seeing. So, and at the end, if you can stay until at the end of this presentation, I have a ebook that I created about how the stress affect the body and also how you can then manage it to improve your stress. So I hope that you'll stay and accept that give. So I put this there, who can relate to it? Stress is a huge thing. I want to talk about my own life. I was born and raised in Burma, and being in the Chinese, background and heritage, I learned a lot about Chinese philosophy of balancing mind, body, and soul, and eating properly, etc. And if you give all the condition right, yin and yang, your body will really be able to heal itself. And however, when I came to Canada and I got into pharmacy, I got trained as a pharmacist in Western medicine. I thought I learned a lot and, I know about medicine and I can help people. So Cindy and I decided, Cindy's my wife and she's a pharmacist also. We decided 25 years ago that we're going to open up our own pharmacy because we were working for other people and we find out that we can do different. We can help our patient better than working for somebody else because, we don't have to answer to anybody. We're our own boss. So we started doing that and we were committed to helping people to the point that we start skipping lunch. We start actually eating fast food for lunch because, quote unquote, we don't have time. And when we were working the first 5 years to the point that there's days that we end up working 12 hours days and even weekends, we used to open Saturday and we end up working 8 hours on Saturday and got to the point that we are so exhausted and we were ignoring our own health because we're so busy. And that actually lead to me getting sick 3 to 4 times a year, severe sinus infection to the point that I'm on antibiotic. And when antibiotics help me with the sinus infection, then that kills my gut bacteria and I get bloody diarrhea. So I have another antibiotic to treat my bloody diarrhea. And the cycle goes on to the point that in the afternoon, I'm literally falling asleep. I can keep myself awake to be able to serve people properly. But at night, I'm actually waking up 2, 3 in the morning and I can fall back asleep for an hour or two. And by the time I fall asleep at 5 in the morning, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, I gotta get up and go to work. And I'm dragging myself out of the bed because I'm so exhausted and so tired. And after 5 years, Cindy got more allergies and health issue also, and gaining weight, etc. And she got exhausted also. We look at each other and we say, you know what? This is enough. We have to do something about it. We know Western medicine, but we're ignoring our body, what our body is telling us, which is part of the balancing. So we started looking at things and we started learning more and trying to incorporate back our Eastern cultures and etc. And we started getting more training, and we got into functional medicines, and we got into Ayurveda, we got into Chinese medicine, and we started working combination and trying to heal ourselves. So last 20 years since I've been working at it, I would say 15 years, took me about 3 to 5 years to really get back to my normal, that I have energy, I have no issue with the sleep, I have no issue with the allergy, and I don't have diarrhea anymore and every day. Took me about 3 to 5 years to really heal myself. And last 15 years, I've been learning and working with people, trying to help them based on my own experience and based on what we've been learning. And we've been able to help a lot of people. And we figured out that we have to heal from inside out. And that's why we call it self-healing you from within by Sinden. And that's the recent name that I created for the wellness consultation. We need to focus on 3 things. That's the basic stuff that we need to focus on. The first thing is how the stress is affecting your hormones. When I talk about hormones, people look at it thinking that bioidentical hormone, especially for female, and then male for testosterone replacement. Those are sex hormones that we need, absolutely. However, there is stress hormone, cortisol and adrenaline. How those affects our whole body system, that is what you need to understand, so that you can then understand why you need to manage it, how you need to manage your stress, so that these hormones not going to causing havoc on your system. The second thing is understanding how stress affects your gut microbiome, which is bacteria. We have trillions of bacteria in our gut. That is our first line defense with our immune system in our gut, protecting us from infection, etc. And when the gut, you're under the chronic stress, the gut microbiome balance go out, then you start getting bloating, indigestion, heartburn, and your digestive system go haywire, in turns that you're not going to be digesting food properly, and you're not going to be getting nutrients from the food. Even if you eat properly, you may not be getting the nutrient that you should be, and it's going to start affecting your nutrient reserve, and et cetera, et cetera. And then how to change your day-to-day life so that you can manage your stress and you can respond to the stress properly, in turns that your gut and your mood, etc., will improve, your energy, etc., will improve, that you can then get healthier, happier, and be confident that, yes, I'm in the driver's seat and I can control this and I can manage this. And I said that because I have a few patients that recently came to me and worked with me, and with different issue, different things, etc. And we went through this process, and after that, they got better. They understand what's affecting them, how it's affecting them, and how to manage them. So I'll get into a little bit more detail of it. So let's talk about stress. What is stress? According to Dr. Sonia Lupien, she's the founder and director of the Center for Study on the Human Stress at the University of Montreal. And she's also a director of the Mental Health Institute at the University of Montreal. She said, stress, it's nuts. The recipe for stress is that there's 4 factors. One is novelty. Something happened that you are never experienced, and then unpredictability. So you didn't expect it. And then that situation become a threat to your ego. And then you feel that you lost the sense of control. And then she said, you go nuts. And that's how, so to your body to look at situation that's a stress, these 4 factors has to be in place. That's the recipe for stress. So we day-to-day, we looked at people and we said, you know what, there's I got a stress. And other people you look at and saying, I'm not stressed, but how come I'm feeling this way? Because there is good stress and bad stress. The bad stress are the thing that we accept, we acknowledge that's a stress. Like, for example, getting into car accident. Just last week, my teenager went to school and he texted me and said, I end up on a snowbank. I got stressed because somebody all of a sudden stopped in front of him. And with the streets are icy last week, he had to pull to the side and went up to the snowbank so that he won't hit the other car. Luckily, we got a 4x4, so nothing really got damaged, just 4x4 went up to the snowbank. And that got me stressed, and that got him stressed. That's a bad stress. But the good stress, I had a patient came in a few years back during the summer, came into my store saying she can't sleep and she's having diarrhea and she's out of town and she didn't know what to do with it. And so I asked her, I said, do you eat something, different? Do you have food poisoning? Or, did you do something that causing you stress? And she said, I'm not stressed. I'm in town for my daughter's wedding. And I'm just busy preparing for the wedding. And I said, bingo, that's the stress. She's excited. She doesn't think it's a stress because it's a happy occasion, but the body still look at it as stress and responding as a stress. So when you're under the stress, what happens is your body's sympathetic nervous system activate fight or flight response. It doesn't matter good or bad. That's our innate response. When your body feel stress situation, either good or bad, it's going to go into fight or run. And when it become chronic, that can actually lead to a lot of chronic health issue. So when we look at it, stress, there's 3 different type of stress. Acute stress is day-to-day, short-term, could be positive or negative that you encounter, and that will increase your heart rate, that will increase your blood pressure. When the stress is gone, heart rate and blood pressure will go back down. Some people will get headache. If it is severe enough, in some people, they will get migraine, they may get anxiety or depression. In some cases, people may experience back pain or sleep issue or, constipation or loose stool or diarrhea. But when the stress is gone, all of those symptoms go back to normal. And then we looked at it and say, oh, okay, it's just one of those things. And we forgot about it and we go on day-to-day life. But when that kind of acute stress become episodic and consistently triggering these mini crises, in the long run, you can get stomach ulcer, you can end up overeating. And in some people, sexual dysfunction will happen. In some people, high blood pressure and heart disease become the norm. When the stresses become chronic, then it's going to be even more issue with weight gain, type 2 diabetes, tooth and gum disease, hypertension, hypothyroidism, all of those start creeping in. Those are becoming your chronic health issue. So understanding the stress, the key thing is the sympathetic nervous system. When acute or chronic stress, doesn't matter, your body are going to fight or flight. And that will release the adrenaline and cortisol. Those are actually stress hormone. We all understand that, whatever reason your adrenaline's pumping. And some people like that give them energy, that give them rush. But when you keep getting that in the long run, your body can no longer handle it, and the rush is no longer there. You're going to then become really exhausted and tired because your body no longer can produce that enough energy, the rush for you, because you start depleting nutrients, etc. And when you're into fight or flight, your muscles going to tense up and contract and just trying to ready to fight or run. And that can lead to headaches. And in some people, that can lead to migraine. And then the other thing is your breathing is going to go higher because your body is trying to get more oxygen into the system. And you may end up hyperventilating. And some people, you may see that you're going to notice the panic attack. And from the cardiovascular system, acute stress, like I said, it will increase the heart rate because you need a strong contraction from the heart to get the blood circulating, especially to your hand and feet, to bring energy, to bring oxygen. But when that happens so many times, the pumping of the blood from the heart is going to start wearing out the blood vessel. These are like a water pipe. You're normally pumping the water, and these pipe in the city, where we live in, there's water main break, etc. Because these water pipe got worn out and weakened, and so that they have to replace it all before we know it burst, and then we have a flooding, etc. And they have to then replace it. The same idea. Our blood vessels are these water pipes that carrying the blood throughout our system, our body. But when the pumping pressure increase, they're going to get damaged. They're going to get worn out faster. And for us, is when the blood vessels are getting damaged, that create the inflammation. Inflammation is part of the repair method that our body use. But when you got overinflammation, more than the body can repair fast enough, then that's where the blockage and stuff happen. So heart attack and stroke, cholesterol is not the issue. The issue is the inflammation. When you got overinflammation, the body cannot repair and replace these cells fast enough. So what body does is use the cholesterol as a bandage to cover it up. And so the more inflammation there, the more cholesterol deposit to bandage it, and that's where the blood vessel blockage and shrinkage happen. And then from the endocrine system, stress hormone release, adrenaline, cortisol, and also in the liver is going to make more glucose because with fight or flight, your body need more energy, so your body need more glucose. At the same time, your pancreas is going to produce more insulin now because there's more sugar in the blood, and that in the long run cause insulin resistant and cause type 2 diabetes. And gastrointestinal tract, your gut, your digestive system, when you're in the fight or flight, it's not going to produce proper amount of acid, and it's going to reduce amount of digestive enzyme production. And also there is a muscle valve And just below our esophagus called esophageal sphincter, that is the log type of thing that when it's working properly, when your stomach produces the acid, that muscle tightly closed so that we don't get the acid coming back up into our esophagus. And that prevents the heartburn and acid reflux. But when you're under the chronic stress, that muscle actually
a webinar from him.
It's not
chronic stress and how
not closing properly, and so the acid will then come up, and that's where heartburn is done.
Chronic stress.
And some people, they will have stomach pain and even vomiting from the stress, and diarrhea and constipation because your stomach muscle movement is changed. In the immune system, sympathetic nervous system actually directly control the bone marrow and thymus response for the immune system production. And secondarily, spleen and lymph nodes are also controlled by the sympathetic nervous system. So in the acute stress, immune system response will increase because the body is anticipating that if you get injured and you may get infection, so getting the immune system ready to fight the infection and heal your injury. But in a chronic stress state, the immune system can no longer keep up with the demand, and now it's become lower, and that's when you start getting frequent cold and allergy like what I had. The first 5 years that I was keep getting sinus infection and sinus cold, and then I was getting allergy all the time because my immune system now with a chronic stress no longer working properly and overreacting for allergies and but not really protecting me from virus infection and stuff. So how can you fix your stress? There's 5 areas that you need to look at. The first thing, the most important thing is lifestyle. And then what you eat and how you eat it. And if necessary, nutritional supplement and herbal supplement. Hormone replacement is the last thing that you need to look at. A lot of people, 70% of the female that came to talk to me and want to work with me, they came to see me for hormone replacement for menopausal, postmenopausal type of thing. But a lot of time when I've talked to them, 80% of the people, the hormone issue, hormone symptom that they're having, it's because of underlying chronic stress and that they're not managing their lifestyle and they're not eating properly. And so I started working from lifestyle and food. And then we look at nutritional supplement, etc. And with that, a lot of cases, after 3 to 6 months, we don't really have to do the hormone replacement, and they're being able to manage it without the hormones. So lifestyle, we need to let go of things, and we have to be able to laugh at everything. That's one of the saving grace for me, because when I was under a lot of stress, I've laughed at every little thing to the point that people looked at me and saying, it's not funny, but I'm laughing. And that actually, now I've learned that laughter, even you don't feel like laughing, force yourself to laugh. That actually calm your sympathetic nervous system down, and it's improve your stress response and reduce your fight or flight reaction. And there's actually yoga called laughter yoga. If you Google it, you'll find that there's actually certified instructor, etc. there. They're teaching that you don't really need to. You can just sit there and look at yourself in the mirror and laugh at yourself. 5 minutes a day, that will help. Other things are deep belly breathing, meditation, doing actual yoga itself. But I have it capitalized there, not the hot yoga, because hot yoga actually trying to get you stimulate into fight or flight mode and trying to stimulate production of the adrenaline production and cortisol production. And I've seen patients that I've talked to, they say, oh, hot yoga work great for me because when I go do the hot yoga, I got so much energy. I have patients that told me that after that, when they get home, they actually have to take the nap because they're exhausted, which is then you're defeating the purpose. So that's why I do regular yoga, but not hot yoga. And then guided imagery, biofeedback, heart mat, Tai Chi, Qigong. There's so many different things. If for you it's just, even going out for a walk in the park or, forest, etc., if you have access to it, or reading, taking a bath, listening to the music, whatever works, that will calm your brain down. Do 5-10 minutes every day regularly. That's a huge lifestyle thing. The other thing is sleep. We need at least 7 hours, if not 8 hours of sleep every day. I know that some people tell me I only need 4 or 5 hours and I'm good. There may be some people there, but majority of us need 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And some people have to go to bed certain time. Like for me, for example, I need to go to bed before 11 o'clock. Doesn't matter, I got 8 or 9 hours sleep. If I don't go to bed before 11 o'clock, I still feel exhausted the next day. So I've always tried to go to bed by 11 and then trying to get up by 6 or 6:30. That's my 7 to 7.5 hours sleep. And the other thing is, how do you know you're sleeping good? I ask a lot of people when they come to talk to me, I said, are you dreaming? 70% of the people tell me that they never dream in their life. That means they are not getting into deep sleep. And that means they're not sleeping, because when you get to deep sleep or REM sleep, that's when your body repair and regenerate. That's when your body produce growth hormone. And that's when your body, even brain cell, like when you get into deep sleep, do you know that during the daytime, our spinal fluid go from our body into the brain one direction, bringing nutrients, bringing energy, etc. When you get to deep sleep, that's when your spinal fluid flow back out of the brain, back into the kidney, etc., bringing out toxin from the brain and detoxing the brain. So if you don't get that deep sleep, your brain's not detoxing and holding the toxin, that's going to also cause anxiety, panic attack, in the long run, potentially dementia and Alzheimer. So from the dietary point of view, the protein and vegetable is a huge thing. When you're under a lot of stress, we demand more bread, pasta, big carbohydrate, simple carbohydrate, because our body wants quick sugar. But if you keep giving that quick sugar, your body's going to end up storing it, because your body actually get into starvation mode. What that means is that your body look at it saying, oh, I'm getting lots of sugar, but because I'm always getting into fight or flight mode, I'm not sure when my next meal is going to come, because I may have to run or I may have to fight and I may not have time to eat. So when you're eating, and when you're eating simple carbohydrate, you may find it that you may overeat to load up your system. But when you load up your system, you cannot actually, your body will not burn all the calorie that you brought in, but the body will save it for the rainy day that you're going to need potentially. So what happened is that the best energy storage is fat. So that's when you're going to start finding fat gain, weight gain, especially at the belly area. And then the other thing is gluten and dairy. We find that the gluten and dairy tend to cause a lot more inflammation and irritation in the gut for a lot of people. And so if you're trying to eliminate that, at least for about 60 days, and you may find it that your energy production, etc., your brain fog may improve. And then the other thing is vegetable. I like protein and vegetables because vegetables are complex carbohydrate. Proteins are building block for our muscle and also building block for our hormones and brain neurotransmitter. And then vegetables has a lot of vitamins and minerals. Those are cofactor for your enzyme to make protein, to make brain neurotransmitter, to make energy. And then you got to watch environmental toxin. There's a lot of environmental toxin like plastic, etc. Those are phytoestrogen, which means that it's giving you more estrogenic effect, and it's going to cause more issue. And also heavy metal, etc., chemical, the pesticides, those will cause more inflammation, and those will cause cell damage. So it's going to cause you brain fog. It's going to get you more inflammation, more pain. And mold is the other thing that it's a lot in our environment. So if you suspect that mold, you may want to get the people who knows how to deal with the mold and let them assess your house, etc., and try to get rid of it. So from the nutrient point of view, when you're under chronic stress and your body's going always fight or flight, that's going to shut down your gut function, and that's not going to get food digest properly and absorb properly. So you're not going to be getting a lot of nutrient as much as you need to. At the same time, your body producing more energy, so needing more vitamins and minerals and more protein and amino acid. So that's going to be causing imbalance for demand and supply. And in the long run, you're going to end up with deficiency or losing your reserve vitamins and minerals. And you're going to then start losing your resiliency for your life, that every little thing's going to cause you either panic attack or make you upset or angry. And every little thing's going to make you jump. And especially even sleeping, every little noise is going to wake you up and you may not be able to go back to sleep. So vitamins are, B5 is one of the key that we find it that with a chronic stress, and then vitamin B6. But after saying B5 and B6, when one vitamin B is deficient, it's interesting that I get a lot of patients come to me and saying, oh, my doctor said I'm low in vitamin B12. I should take the B12 supplement. Do you know that in actual case, when you are low in B12, you are actually low in all the vitamin B? When you're exhausted because you're low in B12, not because of just you're low in B12, because you're low in all the vitamin B, because your body, when produces energy, there is a system called mitochondria. And in mitochondria, you need vitamin B1, B3, B6, B5. And then B12 is later on. And then when you'll have a mood issue, mood disorder, if it is underlying chronic stress causing it, most likely because you're deficient in protein, which is the building block for the serotonin and dopamine and GABA, but you may also be low in vitamin B3 and B6, which are cofactor for the enzyme that convert the amino acid to serotonin. And serotonin is actually precursor for melatonin. So if you're not producing serotonin, you're not going to be getting melatonin, then you're not going to be sleeping properly. So melatonin, we can take it as a supplement, but in actual case, melatonin is a hormone that produced by our brain for sleep. And it's balanced with the cortisol during the day and night, the whole circadian rhythm. And then magnesium is the other one. And I mentioned that when you're in the fight or flight mode, your muscle need to work a lot and you tensed up, because with that, you use up a lot of magnesium. Magnesium also involved with the whole energy production. So with the whole supplementation, we tell people to take magnesium supplementation. The interesting thing, a lot of people tell me that, oh, my doctor said my magnesium level is normal in my blood. According to some of the pharmacists that my colleagues at the hospital, they said, when your magnesium level is low in the blood, when they find that, you are in critical condition. they will then do a IV magnesium, or they will do, in some cases, magnesium straight into your heart. So remember that. And then omega-3, that will help with our brain is effect. And our brain, majority of part is omega-3. And then the rest is the phosphatidylcholine, phosphatidylserine, etc. And also our cell membrane is a lot of omega-3 in there that keep our cell membrane cells working properly. And then vitamin C also involved with the whole immune system, cell generation, collagen production, all of that. When you're under the chronic stress and when your gut is not working properly, like I said, digestive enzyme production is going to go down. So immediately, my suggestion is to take the plant-based multi-digestive enzyme to help digest the food properly so that your stomach can extract the nutrients that your body needs. And then the other thing is prebiotic and probiotic. I don't recommend a lot of prebiotic anymore. I tell people to eat more vegetable because prebiotic means it's fiber. And so I like complex fiber from vegetables, and I get, hit the two birds with one stone, making you or asking you eat vegetables. That's going to give you the prebiotic that your gut's going to need, and that's going to give you lots of vitamins and minerals that your body's going to need. And for the probiotic, our recommendation is about 15 billion, in some cases over 100 billion multi-strain daily until your bloating, your diarrhea, your constipation improve. Probiotic balance will actually help balance the your immune system. There's a two thing called Th1, Th2, which is T helper cell 1, T helper cell 2. There has to be balance in our body. One side to go too much, then you got inflammation. One side to go too high, then you're going to have allergy, severe allergy. So that need to be balanced there. And then the other thing is that the probiotic eat the prebiotic fiber and produce butyric acid. Butyric acid is primary energy source for your stomach lining cell for repair and regenerate. So you really need that fiber, and you really need a good bacteria working together. And then the other thing that I don't have it in there is that when you have a balanced probiotic and good fiber in there, 70% of your vitamin B12 is actually produced by probiotic in your gut. So there's another reason that you should have that gut working properly with the balanced bacteria. Another nutrient that we recommend acutely for people with gut symptom is L-glutamine. That's another amino acid. That is the second energy source for our gut mucosa lining cell for repair and regeneration. Way back when I was working in a pain area and palliative care area, one of the oncologists literally phoned me and said, "Can you make glutamine suspension for my cancer patient?" Because cancer patient took a lot of the chemotherapy orally, and that actually damaged all the gut mucosa lining. And for him, the oncologist, the treatment that he found was giving this patient 5,000 milligrams a day of L-glutamine in a suspension base so that it's, affect right away, it's cold right away type of thing. So we did that for about 6 months for that patient throughout the chemotherapy treatment. And then there's a couple of other things. Zinc carnosine. Zinc, it's a really neat stuff with, the viral infection and stuff that we went through last 3 years. We found out that zinc is major nutrient that stop the virus replication. And at the same time, zinc it also heal the ulcerative colitis type of issue in our gut. Within studies show that within 8 weeks, zinc will heal the ulcer. And then the other one is something called DGL. That is the licorice root extract. But there is one ingredient in licorice called glycyrrhizin. That actually in some people increase the blood pressure. So for the gut repair, the companies extracted something called deglycerated licorice root extract. So there's no glycyrrhizin in it anymore. And that in itself, actually, studies are shown that it will inhibit the H. pylori growth and improve the mucous membrane production and repair and regeneration. And I've actually used that for even acute heartburn for some of the patients that come into my store when they're looking for Tums or etc. I've suggested DGL, and within half an hour, 1 capsule of DGL will improve their heartburn. From the herbal point of view, there's a few things that I like. L-theanine, it's amino acid from the green tea extract. And many of you know that people, tell you, oh, drink green tea and it'll help you calm you down. And that's because there's L-theanine nutrients in the green tea that are working, calming you down. This calm down your cortisol production. This actually improves your dopamine and serotonin production. And studies are shown that within 40 minutes, taking 200 milligram to 300 milligram theanine, you can actually reverse the panic attack. And then another couple of herbal supplement, rhodiola, which is the similar to ginseng type of thing, but it's improved the insomnia, improved their emotional reaction, and also improve the focus by improving the dopamine production. And then Siberian ginseng, we call that as, in Chinese medicine, we call that as adaptogen. If you ever had a chance to look at the Siberian ginseng root, it looks like a human body, head, arms, legs, your body. And so in Chinese traditional medicine, that is cure all. If you have a headache, my mom will give you a slice of ginseng to chew. If you're low energy, you can't sleep, all of that, every little thing. I chew this ginseng root since I was 5. And then ashwagandha is now most popular in Western medicine in the integrated practice, because ashwagandha is not just supporting energy production, etc., but it supports both adrenal and thyroid function. And they're finding it also that it's improving lipid profile. So people are using more and more of the ashwagandha in a lot of product. The interesting thing about lipid, it's little tips. Cholesterol is a not bad thing. Cholesterol is the building block for all the hormones. The estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, cortisol, all of them are made from cholesterol. So as you turn 40, 50, you may notice that your cholesterol level go up. What that means is that your body is wanting to make more hormones and the brain's asking your liver to make more cholesterol, so that there's cholesterol there for your body to make more hormones. But a lot of time, what I find it is that when cholesterol level go up, the doctor will say, oh, you're going to have a heart attack. And then you get put on the cholesterol medication. And then that's going to nosedive your cholesterol, and that's going to nosedive your hormone level. And that's when a lot of female will have hormone imbalance, and a lot of male will have low testosterone issue, libido issue, etc. Phosphatidylserine is another one. I mentioned it before. That's part of the brain. That also, as a supplement, reduce the cortisol level for people who can't sleep through the night, wake up middle of the night. Those people are because cortisol spiking at 2, 3 in the morning. So if you take phosphatidylserine, that will keep the cortisol level normal over the night. And then the other one is Rolora, proprietary blend of two different plant. And initially the study was done for the anxiety, but now we're finding it that more and more studies are coming out that it's also work with cortisol, dopamine, and serotonin. So now, I've shared all this information. You have a choice. When I was training with Tony Robbins 3 years ago, he said, if you have a 2 option, you don't really have a choice. If you have 3 options, you do have a choice. So I'm going to show you that you have a 3 option. The first one is doing nothing, staying the same. Whatever you're doing, just keep doing. That's one of the choice. I have a lot of patients that talk to me and said, you know what? There's nothing else you can do for me. I've done everything. I've talked to you. I don't think you have anything more. And I'm just going to stay whatever. That's their choice, because I tell a lot of people that you are in the driver's seat. I'm here to share information and guide you and see where and what you can do. What you're going to do is up to you. The second choice is the information that I provided today. And you can use that and you can walk yourself. And if you can do that, great, absolutely phenomenal. I have some people that listened to my talk and said, I know exactly what's going on. I'm going to work on it myself. If I can't, then I will come and ask you for help. And that's my third option come in. If you feel that you need more direction and guidance and support from me, I have a program that I've been working with a lot of people. It's called Metabolic Rejuvenation Roadmap. It's a 12-week program. And in this 12-week program, everybody that went through that program with me, by the end of the program, they know exactly what's triggering their symptoms, how stress is affecting and how to manage it, and what to eat, what not to eat. And now they are really the driver for their life, because they know that if they do this, they're going to have that. If they do that, they're going to have this. And based on that, how they want to feel, what they want to do, they can then manage and control everything. It's not a dieting program. There's a different step in the program. It's a journey, because I'm going to tell you that after you do that 3 months, that's it. This is lifestyle program. You're going to learn how to be better in your life, eat better, do better. And we're going to continue and we're going to keep learning ourselves, because our life does not end after 12 weeks. We're going to continue on, and you're going to continue on improving and throughout the journey, so-called life. And the thing is that we have end goals. After 3 weeks, we want to be somewhere, something. Like I have a few patients recently. One lady, after 3, she came to me because she got hot flashes so much at night that she can't sleep, and now she's exhausted. She wanted hormone replacement. The other lady came to me saying, I don't have the energy and my joints are always aching and pain. And the other lady came to me and saying, I want to lose weight. I'm gaining too much. And their angles are all different. But this program, over the 15 years of experience working with one-on-one with over 700 patients, I put together this to the point that after 3 months, the lady totally eliminated her hot flashes. And now she said, okay, if I do this, if I don't go to bed that time, if I drink one extra cocktail then I get hot flashes back. And if I react to certain thing at work, certain way, then I don't get hot flashes. But if I respond to this way, then so she started learning how her body's responding to stamina and stimuli and food. Now she can manage it. And the other lady that want to lose weight, she's actually not just lose weight, but she got energy and she got her resilience back. She owned a business, and over the Christmas, she did 17 days straight with a 4-hour sleep. The year before, previous year, she will be upset. She will be screaming. This time, she came to me and she smiled at me and said, "Do you know that I did that?" with a smile. And I said, "Do you know that you need to stop that soon?" She said, "I know, but I'm happy that I'm not grouchy." And she said, "I lost 20 pounds. So, she's rebuilding her reserve, and she's now getting resilience from the stress that she's putting her body through. And the other lady, she's on Synthroid because her doctor said, "Oh, your thyroid's not working, and that's why you're fatigued and etc." Guess what? We didn't change anything on the medication, but she got full of energy. Her joint pains are gone. And she said, "I don't ever want to go back to who I was before." So in this program, there's 5 phases. The first phase is education, that the program will go through week 2 to week 5. Week 1, learning about what food's good, what to eliminate, and what to eat, what not to eat, and why not. And then week 2 to week 5 is elimination phase, which means that you're going to start removing gluten, dairy, maybe alcohol to certain point, and learn to eat properly. And then week 6, we're going to reintroduce some of these food, even alcohol, certain amount. And then week 7 to week 10, we call it transition or exercise phase. We will then start adding some exercise, trying to see how your body is resistant and resiliency is. I have a patient that recently, when she got into the exercise phase, she did 5 burpees and she texted me and said, "I can't do this." Guess what? You control what you're going to do and how much you're going to do. The program is a guide. The program is not saying you have to. If you can do it, don't push yourself. You don't want to get your body into stress. So I told her, "Okay, can you do 1?" She said, "Yes." So she started doing 1 burpee a day. And after a week, then she started doing 2. And then in 2 weeks, she was able to do 5 burpee a day. No issue at all. So you start building up your body. And then the last part will be is healthy for life. You learn your body, you learn your environment, you learn your food and what it works and what it doesn't work for you. And some people will talk to me and said, "It's another program. I've done all the program, nothing works. Why your program should work for me?" Well, I tell them that because my program is, you think it's, one program for everybody, but in the program, I guide you, I suggest you to modify things to fit your body response. Everybody is different. This is the guide. Like, for example, there's a recipe asking for black beans in the menu guide. One lady texted me and said, "I don't have a black bean at home and I don't want to go shopping, but I have kidney beans. Can I replace it?" Absolutely. So those are the kind of thing that you learn to play with it, and you learn to eat what you like and what you don't like. And if you don't like it, you don't have to force to eat it. If absolutely necessary, I will tell you, but I have not had to do that. I've just said, what do you like? And then we're trying to see if we can substitute it. So in this program, every day I have a recipe, breakfast, lunch, and supper. And in this program, based on the recipe, one click, you can create the grocery shopping list. And in this program, there is 9 supplement and protein and green shake. It's part of it for 3-month supply. It's part of the program. You don't have to pay for it extra. That in itself is about $2,000. And then there's a wellness portal that you have to sign in that gives you and me better communication. Whatever you do in that portal, in the app, you can journal, you can record your food, etc. All of that, I can see that so that I can then monitor and I can then suggest and direct you if necessary. And you get free digital weight scale that actually measure the body composition, not just weight. Measure the water percentage, measure the fat percentage, protein percentage, all that. And if you connect it to the portal and the app, they actually automatically record that every time you step on the scale. And it's recorded in the app so that I can see that. And then based on that, I can then have a discussion with you. And through the app, you can message me any time of the day. And also, you can email me when you're in the program if you have a larger program, larger question. And if necessary, then I may say, let's meet half an hour on Zoom or in person so that we can discuss this more. And that will be part of the program. These are the myths that, people say, oh, I've tried everything. If you are still not feeling well, you haven't tried everything. I'm one of those that tell people that there's always an answer for these chronic health issues. Sometimes we have not found it yet because it's so complicated, we have to dig deeper. And I'm one of those that are happy and willing to do that. And some people say, I don't have time. Well, I told myself I don't have time and I skip lunch and I don't eat properly. And I go to drive-through and fast food and I got sick. When you got sick and your brain's not working, you're less productive, you are less social. I was not willing to go out. I was not wanting to do anything. After I get home, I want to watch TV. I want to eat chips and drink Coke. That's all I wanted to do. And so you have become less productive. One of the ladies that currently just finished the program, she came to me for Hashimoto thyroiditis. But we put her on this program. Within 6 weeks, she actually journaled in the app saying that she was raised to eat fast food and never cook because there's no time. But with this program, she started cooking, and after 6 weeks, her PMS went away and she lost weight. Her energy came up. And she's on high dose of thyroid medication. And we have not changed anything. And her energy, she said, is 100%. She literally went up to north and she actually took up the graveyard shift and she didn't get sick. She was still able to do 6 weeks of midnight shift. And then she just came back and she said, I'm going on vacation. And she said, with all that, my PMS gone. So she said, now I wonder why I never make the time to cook and buy grocery myself. And a lot of people said, I can figure this out. And like I said, initially, your option 2 is figure things out yourself. I got the information here. You can, look at it. You can try and figure that out. Great if you can do that. Kudos for you. If you cannot, then, my program, I have a lot of other practitioners and colleagues in US that selling these kind of programs for 5,000 or more. For me, is I want to reach more people. I can do 5,000 or more, and I can work with, elite a few people, and I can lay back and relax. But I want to help more people, so I'm not doing this pricing. But the current prices are $16.97, and that include, like I said, 10 supplement, 9 supplement and protein and green, and that in itself is about $2,000 retail. So, and then you will have messaging back and forth with me whenever you need to. And then if you need to, once a month, half an hour to an hour Zoom or face-to-face meeting so that we can dig deeper for you. And then at the end, I'm hoping that you will learn to manage and control your life and your food, and you can continue on. I have people that after 3 months, they will continue on because on the supplement, some of them, because they feel that they need a little bit more time. There's other that when they finish, they then went to management program of supplement, probiotic, omega-3, maybe protein and green type of thing. Everybody's a little bit different. So this is the link to sign up. If you want me to work with you, or like I said, you can do nothing, or you can take the information that I provided and work on it yourself. Whichever it's your option, you can choose one. You will choose one. In the spring, as I get more people coming in, I can't work with too many people. So I'm gonna, with everything's going up in the springtime, I probably will have to increase the price because supplement prices are going up also. So the information in there, like I said, I put this together based on my 15 years of working with other clients and patients. And this works really well. I've tried it myself. Cindy tried it herself. And we are trying to help as many people as we can if anybody's willing for us to guide you through this. So again, this is the link if you like to sign up. Otherwise, this is the link for my ebook. I put together ebook talking about how stress affects the different body system and how you should manage that. Understanding how stress affected, you can then know that what you can do. And we talk about the meditation, we talked about yoga, all of that's in this ebook. So grab that link and go get that ebook as a reference. So